If you play basketball in high school, you probably dreamed of becoming an NBA All-Star. Cause Friday night games for the varsity might as well be a rite of passage for any hooper in America. Cause the guys who get drafted in the NBA now are just about a year or two removed from high school anyway. So how good do you actually have to be to become an NBA All-Star? And the answer depends on who you ask and when you ask. Cause in 2023, there were several NBA All-Stars for whom, if it were up to the scouts, they never would have made it this far. And a couple of players who were so unknown in high school, they never even received a ranking from any of the scouts. So here is a breakdown of all the NBA All-Stars and what the scouts said about them back when they were still playing on their varsity team. To know how good a player was in high school, I broke them into 4 categories: the elites, the prospects, the sleepers, and the dreamers. And spoiler alert, any one of them can have what it takes to become an NBA star. Starting off with the elites. College basketball recruiters can spot these players from a mile away. Actually, hundreds of miles away with the help of the internet. And generally speaking, they get it right about which players were head and shoulders above their peers. LeBron James was somebody even my grandmother couldn't have missed in high school. But the truth is that 15 of this year's NBA All-Stars were ranked 9th or higher in their recruiting classes. Aside from LeBron James, only Zion Williamson was ranked the #1 recruit in his recruiting class. Kevin Durant was actually #2. And 10 of those 14 players were ranked top 5 in their classes. But ironically, Joel Embiid wasn't one of them. He was ranked #6. So more than half of NBA All-Stars are technically the elites. But this is where things get interesting. Cause prospects are players who simply outplay their recruiting rankings. Scouts knew they were good. They just didn't think they would be this good. Domantas Sabonis was ranked the highest of all of these players. He was 26th on 247, before going to Gonzaga and leading them to the Sweet 16. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a 4-star recruit on ESPN, who did the same thing as a freshman, leading them to the Sweet 16. But Donovan Mitchell was also a 4-star recruit, and the 14th ranked at his position, which is laughable now, because after 2 seasons at Louisville, he became an All-ACC player, and we all know what happened after that. Donovan is proof that prospects are really, really good, but the scouts were all confused about him. He transferred to Brewster Academy as a junior in high school and played with Devontae Graham, who is in the NBA now. He won 2 straight national prep championships and was the MVP for 2 high school All-Star games. He even put down one of the nastiest dunks of the year in the Under Armour Elite 24 game. But that guy was supposed to have 13 players better than him in his recruiting class. Yet Donovan was not a sleeper, because some players in high school just aren't given enough credit. In fact, most NBA players were ranked in the top 50 recruits of the nation before they left high school, which is why it's hard for scouts to admit when they miss out on a player like Stephen Curry or Damian Lillard. They were overlooked and called 3-star recruits, ranking 48th and 52nd at their position. It's safe to say the scouts were very wrong there. But ironically, Paul George and Tyrese Halliburton were also ranked 45th and 51st at their positions. But they made the jump to the NBA after their sophomore year. And the funny thing about a sleeper is that it becomes very clear that they are way better than whatever the scouts said the moment they play in college. When Steph played for Davidson, he finished 2nd in the nation in freshman scoring, behind only Kevin Durant. And after all that, he still wasn't a dreamer, because those are the players who nobody saw coming, literally. And what ranking systems fail to admit is that they always miss out on someone, a player who doesn't get a ranking, who probably should have been. Pascal Siakam didn't even receive a recruitment ranking score, but he's now an NBA champion and an all-star now. But keep in mind, in his 1 year playing prep school basketball, he averaged 16 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 blocks. But Ja Morant is the biggest dreamer of all, because he didn't receive a recruitment ranking from anyone either. I couldn't really tell you why, because he was a 3-time All-State selection, the MVP of his region 3 times, and his team's all-time scoring leader. To say he was overlooked is the understatement of the year. And that only happened because of the politics of recruiting. They overlooked him because they didn't hear about him. But somebody should have told them about Ja Morant. Apparently, scouts ran into traffic on the way to his state tournament games. But he's an NBA All-Star now, so you can't overlook him anymore. Most of the men who play in the game, the elites, were predicted to do so before they even left high school. But ESPN recruiting, 247, and even rivals can't play the games for you. The players who were slept on, and even those that were entirely ignored, is proof that the scouts don't know everything. And here is my prediction. Right now, there's a high school basketball player somewhere who isn't included on anybody's major ranking list. But he's going to become an NBA All-Star. And I would put my money on that. I'm Coach Rob, and thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to see more content like this, then please like and subscribe.